Now it's time for school check-in. Hardest part of our show, one of the hottest parts of our show. I mean, every part of our show is super hibachi hot, but you know, this is the first part of our show, so it's the hottest part of the show. And the SKOL check-in is always better. It's always on point coming off of a huge win. And I can tell you this much, man, I almost gave up hope. I thought everything was gone. I thought it was over. I thought it was disco dead. I thought it was a wrap. But I tell you this much, I didn't turn the TV. I stayed put. I stayed with the boys. I said, man, they done let me down again. God dang it. I said, and I had them on my money line. I had the Vikings on my money line. I said, shoot, just win. That's it. Just win, baby. Like Al Davis said. Guess what? The Vikings won. And guess what? I won my parlay as well. If you've been following me, I put my parlay winnings on my story time. You know what I mean? Just as a motivational piece, as people say. Oh, boy, Pat P. Boy, I'm heavy right now, Pat. Boy, listen, I ain't gonna toot my own horn, but boy, boy, Pat, boy. I feel like, I just be putting parlays together just to see how lucky I am to see if they're gonna come through. But y'all help me. You help me, Pat P.
Okay.
I owe you a nice brunch. You help me. The Vikings help me. Hitman, Captain Kirk. What the kicking name is again? I be forgetting kicking names. I'm sorry. You know your kicking name?
Yeah, I know my kicking name, man. Greg
what?
Joseph.
Okay, you do know your kicking name. Shout out to Greg Joseph. He came through in the clutch. Lions recap. Vikings win 19-17. Man, how does it feel? Because I know you were emotionally tied up in the game. I was emotionally tied from the TV screen, but seeing the ebbs and flows of that ball game and seeing how you guys won, man, what was the feeling like? Take us through through the atmosphere, that you were going through on Sunday.
Well, division foes gonna always be a battle. It's always gonna come down to that one possession. And, as being in this league for 11 years now, every second on the clock matters. You know what I mean? So. It's definitely a learning experience for us, moving forward, but definitely happy to be on the winning side of those close games now, being able to operate, under pressure, being able to get ourselves in position with 30 some odd seconds left to win the game. But, you never want to be in that position, being up 10 with 3 something odd minutes left.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, it's an experience that we can learn from, and luckily that we came out on the winning side of it this time, and hopefully it can propel us to something special throughout the rest of the year. A win is a win, no matter how you take them. It's hard enough to win on Sundays in this league. However you can get a win, you take that win and move on to the next Sunday.
Look here, no question. There's no such thing as style points in National Football League. As long as you get a dub, that's the most important thing. And oddly enough, you guys were on the wrong end of the stick when it comes to close ball games. So being able to finally pull one out was huge. Not to mention that was a divisional game, as you stated. What was happening between Kirk Cousins and Coach Zimmer in the celebration?
I was right there when it all was going down. I couldn't tell you, Matt. But I was like, Coach, we finally came out on top of a close one, and I kept it moving.
Hey, Kirk Cousins was fired up. I think Zimmer was fired up initially, but when Kirk gave him that last shove, Zimmer was like, "Hey, hold on, man, bro, you don't push me too many times." I mean, it was an emotional game, but hey, Coach Zimmer, like he was ready to do something. Like, yo, all right, you pushed me 2 times. That third push, man. Hey, I like it. I love seeing the emotions, because one thing about the game of football that fans don't see, all the hard work and preparation.
Right.
That goes into putting the product on the field on Sundays, and being able to win is just a piece of the results. And that's why on one end, you guys were celebrating, right? Jumping for joy. And the other end, you had a head coach who was crying, who was teared up, because it's tough when you have those type of losses that continue to add up. So it's a tough situation to be in, but hey, you guys earned the right to win and you won. Talking about the collapse, what needs to happen to prevent those situations late in the fourth quarter, allowing the team to get back into a ball game?
No, you just got to finish. You know what I mean? No matter where the ball is on the field, you got to be able to defend everybody that grabs as defense. And as an offense, you want to be able to control the clock, especially in the fourth quarter, be able to get some first down, move the chains, change and eat the clock up a little bit. So just have to put all those things together. Like I said, it's a great situation that we can learn from. Earlier on, we was, good in those situations, as far as when we needed to get off the field, and those losses. And then, vice versa came upon us Sunday, not being very good in the fourth quarter to seal the victory. But, eventually we end up getting the victory. And like I said, it can be something that we can learn from, and hopefully it can be something that can propel us throughout the rest of the season.
Are you and the rest of the team aware of some of the hot seat conversations that have been taking place? Many people felt like you guys lost to the Lions, jobs would be in jeopardy. Are you aware of those type of conversations?
Nah, this is my first. I mean, you heard, kind of bits and pieces of it when the season first kicked off, on NFL Network and all that stuff. But once the season started, we really don't pay attention to the outside noise. We focus on the opponent that we have to face on Sunday, because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Preparing for that moment, because only thing you can control is that moment when where your feet are at that time. And at this time, Coach Zimmer is our coach, and he's doing a great job of preparing us on Sundays, making sure that we're ready, giving us that confidence, knowing that we can go out and execute the game plan, providing us with a great game plan to go out there and execute at our best of ability. So at the end of the day, we're not hearing the outside noise or hearing none of those conversations, because it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And if you do hear it, hypothetically speaking, I know the respect you have for Coach Zimmer. What does that add to you? Being able to, number one, keep your coach out of those conversations. Does that add any extra motivation for you and the entire team?
At the end of the day, you judge, I think, collectively as a group, we all are on the same page when it comes down to the ultimate goal, and that's winning ball games and, getting into the playoffs and having a chance to play for the Lombardi Trophy. So at the end of the day, if we all continue to have that collective goal on our minds, everything will work itself out. That's the way I look at it. You know what I mean? So I don't want to see, because if you look at that as extra motivation, you see it as going and fishing for plays, or fishing for doing things that you out of the ordinary that you shouldn't be doing, trying to force a play to happen, and that can end up putting you in a much worse situation than it could be. So at the end of the day, if everybody's on the same page as far as being prepared on Sunday, doing what you need to do to make sure that you're prepared if your number is called, then the wins add up, and after the wins add up, you get in the playoffs, and everybody loves the playoffs. You get an extra check and you get an opportunity to play for the Lombardi Trophy. So if we can stay on that page, everything will work itself out.
Well, I can tell you this much, Pat P. You had a few nice plays, a few third down stops, man. Your coverage has really been on point. You don't really get talked about a lot, which is a good thing and a bad thing, because you don't get a chance to make a lot of plays, and they don't come at you that much. And when they do, you kind of, you effacing that said wide receiver out of the ball game. Talk about some of the PBUs you were able to come up with, especially on third down situations. What were you in? The route combination. What were you anticipating from the wide receiver?
It was in a little off zone. I can't really tell you exactly what we was in, but it was in off zone.
What was your responsibility?
I had a quarters responsibility, so I had that quarters of the field and having that condensed set. I can't remember what set they was in, but I think they were in a 3-by-1 set bunch on the backside, meaning, 3 receivers were all condensed together, and the backside receivers was on top of the numbers. And I knew I had the inside help of my safety, so, I played a little bit outside, and, what they showed on film was a ton of outs. So if they show me that on film, I'm playing to that.
That's why you watch film.
Exactly. So, had a nice little back pedal, pace back pedal, knew where my sticks were and knew at some point that he had to get rid of the ball because we had something cooking up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And,
so you had a blitz coming.
Yeah. Then he ended up getting the ball out, knowing, anticipating that route to play. So pretty much plan the route before the route even happened is what actually helped me, helped me get in that position to make that plan. On the second one, it was kind of the same way. I kind of thought he was going to run from the formation that I got, because it was 3-by-1 and the quarterback was on the opposite hash, and they had all wide splits. He had like a +3 to +4 split. It was 3rd down to 7. So I honestly thought he was going to try to just run me off.
When you say +3, you saying +3 from the numbers?
Yes, +3
gotcha.
from the numbers.
Yep.
So initially I thought they was going to try to run like a teal route, because like I said, the ball was on the opposite hash and they got all this field to work with, and they run that a lot. They run a lot of China 7s, China seams. So I really, because especially with the +3 split, I'm thinking, a curl. I'm not thinking, nothing vertical, and and the slant wasn't really in my mind. But what saved me was the release he gave me, being able to process his information, quickly. So he gave me the release, and my eyes know everything where it needs to be. But what gave it away is the way he rolls his body up on the outside release. He rolls his body up on the outside release. I was like, oh, that's not a takeoff route.
You know what he doing when he do that.
Yeah, I said, that's not a go. That's not a go. That's not a go release. That's not like a stab and go release. So
he got to run that out.
Yeah, so I end up settling down a little bit inside. He ended up coming back to me, got him with a nice two-hand counter jab and press. Came back, quarterback threw the ball, nice break up, and help got us off the field. I think that was 3rd quarter.
Yeah.
There was another out I should have had. They motioned to.
God. That's what I wanted to talk to you about. Yeah, man,
too fast on my back pedal.
No, I'm not that play. Not that play when you were a little too fast in the pedal. I'm talking about the play, the one-hand interception by Eric when you was coming right there.
Oh yeah.
If he don't pick that, the ball hit you in the chest.
Yeah, for sure.
But it always happen like that? It always happen like that, don't it? Either someone gonna pick it off or someone gonna deflect it. But when you right in position, because you undercut the heck, I think he ran a slant route.
Yeah, he ran a slant on that one too.
Bro, you jumped that boy like you just got shot out of a cannon.
Yeah,
and literally, and the thing is with Eric, an unbelievable interception. But linebackers usually don't come through with that type of play.
Yeah, that was a great pick.
And it was like you were anticipating him missing the ball because you put your hands up like you was about to catch it.
Right.
Man, I say that. Say it again.
I said, because that happened. That bit me in the butt before. Calvin
not being prepared?
No, I was prepared because I was on Calvin Johnson. It was almost like the same route, but Calvin Johnson was in the slot. I was playing for the Cardinals at the time, 2013, Carlos' year, first back, win a cover 3 because they like to put create mismatches and put Calvin Johnson at the slot and motion. Can't remember who the back was, but motion him out wide. So now I go inside playing a seam technique, pretty much funneling everything back inside the hashes. And I did my job. Calvin runs a slant. I'm all over Calvin. I see Carlos coming because we basically bracketing him.
Yeah.
And Carlos goes like this here. The ball goes through his hands, hit Calvin Johnson in the chest. He goes for like 70. I'm like,
I know what you're talking about.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And you hesitated because you thought Carlos was going to catch it.
He went for it. Like it was a perfect coverage. Like it worked out because we knew he was running that route.
I know what you're talking about.
Or the slot fade. And like I said, I'm outside technique, funneling everything into the hashes. Carlos get a great read off Matthew. And it goes through his hand. I mean, a great B. Goes through his hand, hit Calvin between the 8 and the 1.
And he took off. And then you wasn't even in high gear, so you tried to put it in high gear, but Calvin already had steps on you. So
damn it, Carlos. But that was
that's when you came to the sideline. You said he won't catch nothing else.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I know.
You had some fire cleats on that game too. You had them ones with the straps. Was it the Mirachis?
Mirachis.
Yes, sir. The Mirachis on point. I remember. Remember the dress code. I remember the plays.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but that was a great play by Kendricks. We had him on the show, friend of the show. So if you can't get the interception, it's only right another Viking players get an interception.
No doubt.